My name's Belinda McLeod. I work for the Back2Work project at Spinal Life Australia as a vocational rehabilitation counsellor, and I have a lived experience of spinal cord damage. So the Back2Work project is proudly funded by MACE, and we work with people as an early intervention vocational rehab program. So we meet people whilst they're still in hospital after sustaining spinal cord injury or damage, and we follow them for up to 12 months in the community to explore getting back to their role or looking at new roles or study post-injury or damage. It was about 9 to 10 years ago I sustained some spinal cord damage. I'd been skiing in Austria, I'd come back, I was living my life, and I just noticed that I had a few different changes. So I was working as a physio and I noticed that one of my fingers was sticking up, and then one day I noticed the other side was sticking up, and then I had some falls. And so I went and saw somebody, and I remember they did the MRI and they yelled down the hallway that I wasn't allowed to leave, and that's how we found out I had some spinal cord damage. For the first probably 2 years, I was fighting to get back as much as I could. So that was very intense with a large team of rehab providers. And then it probably took a little bit longer to get to the point where I felt like I had a foundation of, right, this is what we're going to get back. This is kind of what I have now. And then the focus went on, how do I optimize what I have? How do I get the most out of this body? So I did not have any faith left in my hands at that point, and I needed my hands to work as a physio. So I gave up my career as a physio, and that there was an amount of grief around that, and it took me a little while to figure out what to do next. And I kind of landed on vocational rehab counselling because I could still use some of my skills and I could manage the course part-time. So it was one of those things, and it wasn't until I met my manager that I realised actually this job will work out really nicely for me, so I'm really grateful for that. I talk a lot about the Australian barbecue, and the first question someone will ask you is, what do you do for work? And not being able to answer that can be really tricky. But you also get a moment to think about who you are and why you're that person and how you became to be that person. And then letting go of some of the things that you just did, and then working with people who support you and know you. So your clinicians and your friends and your family and your people, working together to figure out a different way to do it. And the way I work is that if you have an idea of what you want to do, let's put it on the table. Let's figure out a way to do it. There might be some equipment that can help. There might be some strategies that can help. And we have had many people return to many amazing jobs in a sustainable and safe and an enjoyable way. A lot of employers I speak to really care about their people, but they're worried they're going to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And I would encourage them to try and be a little less scared of that. Obviously, we all have the best intentions. Being curious, talking to the person about what they need, not assuming what they need, but having that safe and open conversation can be beneficial to everyone. So I would encourage people to get their team together, get clinicians that support them, get their family and friends that support them. My health, my physical and mental health has improved dramatically since I've returned to work. Be realistic that it can sometimes be not as smooth sailing as you'd like it, but I would encourage people to be persistent, because if you find the right role and it's safe and sustainable and enjoyable for you, then the benefits are there on my face. I love my job. I'm very fortunate. I hope people can find that too.